Hi, I'm the WanderingNewbie, and it's time for more Record Keeper. Today, we have the first half of the Mired in Chaos Crisis event, which is a fest event, and it is a boss rush, sort of a boss rush, more in the theme of Big Bridge from about a year ago, actually, I think. The main emphasis of this event is that each boss has a easy and hard fight, and each hard fight has a Sid mission applied to it. Okay, let's get moving. I have dilly-dallied enough. Some previews into what is coming later on. Yeah, the 401 is pretty rude. Gil himself is also a little rude. I think putting in for a Sid mission on an apocalypse might be asking a bit much of most people. So, ultimate weapon here is your bog standard ultimate weapon. Nothing super special. Beat him pretty quickly before he starts doing his big moves. And, of course, keep your defenses up. This is about on par with an ultimate plus, if you couldn't tell from the names alone. I mean, if Greg is easier for Sid mission, all matters on your gear and donation alerts off. There we go. Or not donation alerts, but just alerts in general. Matters on what gear and stuff. Anywho, for now. Now, this was also the only fight that I couldn't really, test. Because 60 stamina. This weird, like, haunting background. I don't like this remix of this song too much. That's the long and short of it. That's where I was going with that. Oh yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. None of the Sid missions in this are particularly easy, except for maybe Ultimate Weapon right here. probably the most doable, far and away. God, Life Bane is such a good move. Life Bane, a really good move that you kind of just have to plan around. Of course, the Gravage that Ultimate Weapon does can actually throw you for a loop if he does it one too many times. But you just have to kill him before then, don't you? It's telling when Gravage does more damage than your Meteor. To think I was a little worried about this one. I want to see if I can do something. Nah, Fujin might finish him off. Damn, I wanted the fast ammo. But yeah, Ultimate Weapon, not really terribly scary. But can still catch you off guard. That's the big thing. Alright, now that the easy one is pushing out of the way, time for the real shit. So, in my testing, this one had a little bit of trouble, but surprisingly, I found strategies that worked. The biggest thing to note about this version of Bart is does not have a personal dispel. It is almost exactly the same as the Alt Double Plus that we just had, except he can't get rid of a slow on himself. So you really want to land that slow. And then of course, you do have to interrupt one of Bart's actions. Oh, also, this version of Bart does not cast buffs on himself. He will not add a Protectant Shell, so you don't need a Dispel. You only need to land the slow once. Like, yeah, he doesn't cast Protectant Shell on himself, so you don't need a Dispel. You don't need to keep landing the slow to keep up with him. This is a vastly easier version of Bart. And just, let's take a moment and look at that hope right there. That hope. But do note, can still do a Mired of status effects to your team, so do bring like blind resist, silence resist, all resist. Do you need a resist? You should probably equip it. He can't slow you, but he'll blind you. He'll put you to sleep. He'll poison you for all good that does. That's a wasted turn in my book. Please poison my whole team. Oh wait, poison does damage. Oh no! Destroyed. Look! Somebody's been watching the YouTube videos. Somebody knows the continuity of Hope with Devotion. Okay. I've been listening to this music constantly for the last 2 days while building parties and testing the fights out. No. It's a good thing that fucking Crazy Motorcycle is a good song. Alright, we have effectively cut Bart's turns in half, and yeah, so, damage. Do you like numbers? Oh yeah, maybe it's just because he's an alt plus and we haven't had an alt plus in forever. But god, the defenses on Bart here feel super low. Like, I feel like I'm doing way more damage than I should be. Now, we may just completely miss the dismissal command here. Or thing. But such remarkable strength. You may have noticed that Bart has not really had a turn. So the fact that we haven't seen anything yet from him Like, whatever. What's he gonna do? Die? Oh no, a % damage attack. So we've probably missed the condition here, but it's not going to matter for me. If you are having trouble with Bart, though, I suggest bringing a Soul Break that just hits that instantly, because seriously, trying to land an interrupt is one of the worst things in this game. Alright, with 2 easy fights out of the way. I had to compose myself for a moment. Here we go. Girion. So. Girion is a super boss from the DS remake of FF4. One moment. So the biggest things is that Girion can inflict you with gas, which is poison, silence, blind, sleep, random one of those. He counters most hits 20% of the time with Cursed Eulogy, which is an AoE slow. Deals mostly magic damage. He does have an auto attack, but you pretty much should focus on Shelga and Magic Breakdown. The biggest thing is Maelstrom, which he casts periodically forced and sometimes on his rotation, which does 80% of your HP damage. He has Ray. He has Tornado, which is also a percentile attack. Lightning. He starts weak. Well, he has a lightning move, but he starts weak to lightning, becomes weak to ice and water, and then resists all elements. So you want a lightning attack, a water attack, and then as many non-elementals as you can stack together. Oh, there it was. So, lightning and non-elemental, water, dark, but he's going to be using our roaming warrior to do non-elemental, magic breakdown, res breakdown, full break, and affliction break, and then ultra cure. Because seriously, fuck status effects. Now, we are starting to bleed into the realm of alt double pluses here. God damn it, I did that thing that I've been doing. I cut out the roaming warrior. And now that we are in that realm for a Sid mission fight, I will, of course, be allowing myself a soul break or two, but nothing game breaking. Actually, slightly. Because I have Sync. I have Twin Cast Sync, which is a little game breaking, but really I'm just using it for the Medica. If I can, I will hold off on any soul breaks as long as I can. I say slightly game-breaking because I do have stuff like, say, I don't know. Sorry, I started that comment and then took a drink. I have Kane's BSB. I won't be using that. Alright, now, as stated before, Girion does have a basic attack. That is his only physical attack, and we are banking on him actually not using it that much with this party formation. If he attacks somebody in the background, he only does about 800 damage. The front row takes about closer to 2,000. Ah, there's that good shit. 100%. I love it. Yeah, I'd say Affliction Break for Phase 2. Kind of right, but he really does curse Eulogy from the beginning, and that's one of the big ones that we want to try and avoid. We should get through Phase 1 fairly quickly. Golbez is one of our main damage dealers, so... Fuck. That was a miss. That was a big misclick. You know what? That's alright. Of course! What's Death Resist? Pretty much from now on, Kane will only be doing that. I think one more turn of Golbez doing Waterga. Golbez, please. Hoofa. Okay, we're good. We're safe. Now, see, I timed that, so really it was just a Medica. Because I'm getting a haste dagger from this. As for this fight, the fact that you can have a haste dagger really changes a lot. Theodore getting slowed is kind of a non-factor. Like, to supreme degrees. He doesn't add a ton to this fight that he needs to actually go often. So Affliction Break is a really good move. If you are thinking of a move to craft from the, craftable 5 stars, I recommend Affliction Break. You actually want him, if you're stacking Death Resist, that is, to use Tornado as often as possible, since that's almost a non-factor. Those were the 2 worst people to get hit. Thank you for the host, Lyo. Get there. Any damage I can muster up. Golbez is going to be down to the wire. Golbez from downtown. We commend you for your sacrifice, Golbez. Here it comes! So fun fact, that was actually the first soul break I ever pulled, was Lancet. Yeah, that's a really rough fight. That fight is real stupid. It is very RNG based. If you're having trouble with it, you can either throw your face against it more and more and more, or you can Affliction Break. Affliction Break does help a lot with that fight. Super rude. I should emphasize, not entirely reproducible, because look at the attack on Kane. He does have that 8-star sword, which is adding a lot to his damage. But finally, at the end of the road, we approach Gilgamesh. Now, again, from last year, this is almost a carbon copy of the Big Bridge Gilgamesh. A lot of percentile attacks on this Gil. The biggest and scariest thing is Day Spring, which always deals 2017 damage every time. You may be trying to deal with a lot of Gil's damage and just get leveled by Day Spring. And then, once you actually slam him down all the way, that's one more damage from last year. Once you do get him low, he gives himself Protect, Shell, and Haste, and then starts countering on every one of your moves. At that point, you want to utilize Soul Breaks. Soul Breaks. You want to utilize Soul Breaks. But of course there is a Sid mission for this. I'm very upset that this is fucking 3 white orbs. Let me just tell you, let me level with you right here for a second. Unleash, unless you're a completionist, do not worry about this Sid mission. Hold up. I'm just gonna show you a little something real quick. As a quick aside about try not to go down too far. There it is right there. Don't worry about this Sid mission. Do not worry about this Sid mission. This is for bragging rights. Like, white orbs are the most non-orb ever in Record Keeper. They're only used in white magic and white magic alone and like a couple dances. That's it. If you can't pull off the 5 Sid mission, do not worry about it. In fact, what was Girion? Alright, Girion was lightning. That's okay. Alright, it's used in Fires Within. It's used in a couple moves, but you can get white orbs from way number of other places. It is not worth killing yourself over to try and pull off this Sid mission. Anywho, we've gone over this. The biggest thing about the conditions is you do need to bring a Dispel, which is recommended anyway because he buffs himself to remove his buffs. Honorable. Here we are with the Light Warriors. Half this team is 99. So, just a moment. You want to maximize your physical defense as much as possible for this because Greg only deals physical damage. So as much defense as you can muster up is probably the best for you. Quick moment on that thought real fast. Nah. Ooh, that's almost a whole 40 points right there. But I lose 20 defense, 30 defense. Let's try it. Let's see how this goes. The only reason I'm looking into that is because my test run was close, to say the least. But as any good event, we are ending on Greg, the best boy, the goodest boy that Square has ever made. There are many good boys in Final Fantasy. Greg may be the goodest. Yeah, Greg is more of a good boy than the good boy himself. That's just the way he is. Okay. I believe they said they have gone on record in saying that the next playable FF5 characters are going to be Zizat and the Wolfman. Kelger, there you go. Zizat, who threw himself into the barrier. Now, Greg is very nice in that he gives you 2 turns of setup. Which does actually mean as a 1-star fight, or not 1-star, 1 stamina fight, that starts off the first 2 turns with hitting you for 1 damage. This is a very, very good fight to do hit and run on. Go in, punch him once, get punched twice, everybody, and then retreat, come back, repeat this over and over again until you have built up a good bit of bar for yourself. What's death resist? Am I right? Seems to be focusing on Lena, which is good for me. That gets me to a Medica faster. Piss. I did want to change out Bart's move 1 on this build. I hope that doesn't come back to bite me in the ass. This is really sort of the optimal Bart run, though. You want him to be using a lot of his gravity attacks and a lot of his single target. You do not want him to start whipping out his AoE, because his AoE really hurts. Speaking of which, Dayspring. I think it's less that Dayspring is a 0 ATP move, and more that it's an on transition. As soon as he hits that threshold, he does Dayspring. Yes, it is a move that gets stronger every year. God, I love Dayspring. Which he then follows up with Strongest Sword, almost every time. Welcome to Greg. You know, if anybody had to get hit, that's a pretty good target. Also, always remember that you can dive Krill with 3-star motes to Bard 4, which does give her access to Protectica and other thing, Shelga. Nope. No. It's 3-star motes. It's a glitch. They fucked up with Krill. It's only for that Bard node. You can use 3-star motes. Yeah, again, this is pretty much optimal Greg. You want him to keep using his AoE, his percentile attacks. It's time! Our lives are forfeit. But yeah, you can see how stupidly that ramps up. You really want some soul breaks or something for that final phase, or else everybody is eating like 3k attacks every time somebody attacks. Yeah, I got really lucky. Gilded a lot of his percentile HP attacks. To explain it for the chat, payback is not retaliatable at all. If it was, again, it's one of those situations, much like with Proud Claude. If it was tauntable and retaliatable, it would make way easier the fight. That final phase is seriously just build up some soul breaks, wait for that final phase, and then just unleash hell on Gilgamesh, because otherwise you're probably gonna die. Aside from that counter, which deals like 1.5 to the back row, 3k to the front row. What's it called? Aside from that, he can do Dawn Sword every turn. It's just in his rotation. So yeah, legit just hitting you for 2k every turn. That fight is extremely rude in lower phases, but soul breaks are a way around that. And to be honest, again, the Sid mission is really not worth it. It is just bragging rights. I'm gonna grab me some orbs, and then we're gonna look at some banners. Nice. Those are the ones I care about. This, fuck it. Hell yeah, these. Give me that. Okay, I'm just gonna squish this down like that. Yeah. And then I'm gonna open up this page over here. Go over to Record Keeper. Does this have a place going to the index? Perfect. And now let's see how this shows up if I turn off that and turn on... Oh, right, I need to capture a window. There we go. Perfect. And let's get some music going. Maybe even some Muzak. What am I in the mood for today? Ah, I know. I haven't listened to this in forever. Let's get some good Squad Goals future funk going. It's a good track that will last me pretty much the whole thing. And I'm going to get a notepad over here for ranking my banners. Alright, now that I am fully situated, and let me just see if that is capturing my mouse properly. Nice. Okay. First up, the Rosa banner. So, and one more time, just want to see if that's capturing right. That is capturing perfectly. I love it. Okay. So, at the top of this list, yes, as always, remember that my rankings will differ. I am trying to rank it in a vacuum, but I do have my own basis opinions on things. That said, let's start with the USBs. So, we got the Fairy Bow for Rosa, Benediction. This is right here. Probably one of the better USBs. It is an instant cast Curaga with a Magic Blink and a stock 2k HP on it, which is some real ridiculous dumb shit right there. That'll heal everybody to full in an instant. And also, let me make sure that this isn't overpowering me here. It'll give everybody a dodge on the next move and a shield for anything that comes after that. It is super good. Yuffie's Clearest Tranquil is a 8-hit water and a party heal, also instant, and an attack defense down. I really like these instant medicas because oh, that's right. That's another good point. Is Rosa is a caster who can bring Wrath. But yeah, I really like these instant medicas because they are panic buttons. You know you will have that heal ready to go. You don't need to try and pre-buffer the heal or any shenanigans like that. You just hit this and it goes out. And Clearest Tranquil is going to set you up for taking way less damage if it's a physical boss going on from there. Also, on these two, I'll just note, I really do like 6-star weapons. Conductor. Hoofa. Okay. Those of you who have watched the recent multiplayer video knows my opinion on Conductor. Some people really like this break. I am really not a fan of it. Mainly because it is a raise gimmick. Yes, it's going to bring the people back. Yes, it's going to give them Last Stand. Yes, it's going to give them haste. However, at that point, you also need to try and time a Sentinel Grimoire or fucking anything else, a Protectica, all that kind of stuff, in order to get them back up again. And like, again, I'm seeing people in chat saying that USB is amazing for multiplayer. I disagree. I watched a multiplayer video where somebody used it on 4 people that were down, and then instantly hit again, like popped the Last Stand, hit again, and dropped before anybody could get them up with something. Like, you need some real coordination to get this working again. And it's not even instant, so I can't even say that nice thing about it. I really have poor opinions of Song of Spira. That said, it is a source of haste and Last Stand. So, like, on that regard, it's a Curaga with haste and Last Stand. Even removing the raise, it is nice. I just hate that it loses something for that raise. So, like, even though I would probably rank it lower than the other two, because the other two are kind of fantastic, this is still really good. Just for haste Last Stand, you can pop that at the beginning of the fight and be on your way. And then even later in the fight, it's going to Curaga you, it's going to refresh any Last Stands that might have popped, and it's going to give you that haste back. It's real nice. Like, you pop that at the beginning, you get that Last Stand. Later on in the fight, let's say, oh, here comes the big attack. Oh, that person got knocked real low, and they popped the Last Stand. Well, I'm just going to heal them back up and refresh that Last Stand. That's really good. A heal and Last Stand are really nice together. I'm just going to say it's not as good as the other ones, which are way more reactive. And then the OSB on here is Kuja's. It is a really strong hitting OSB, but you have to be doomed. That's pretty much it. I'd say with that OSB is actually pretty alright. Mage ones generally turn out better, and it's dark non-elemental, which means it's going to hit hard no matter what. Continuing down the list to the Super Soul breaks. Anti-Air Particle Beam is a pretty okay soul break for Cloud of Darkness. It's got an in Dark, and Darkness is a pretty alright caster, so that's acceptable. And Divine Guardian's fantastic. It's got haste. It's got haste, it's got heavy regen, it's got resistance plus 50%. Those will keep you going no matter what, and it's a great thing to actually start a fight with too. So, down in the bursts, we got Metamorphosis Claw, which is broken as shit. Quistis' Dress, which is really good by Poison, which is rarely a weakness, but it also does non, and let's look at the command. Here we go. Yeah, it's got a bargain and status effects, which they don't come up often, but having something that can maybe take advantage of those when they do come up is really nice. Ramuh's Staff is a Onion Knight BSB that trades the Haste Aga for a Imperil Lightning. And it has this weird gimmick of like kind of being able to heal while also doing damage, which is like really weird, but it kind of works. Sunblade is great for Furion. Mind you, he doesn't have a way to really boost Holy on him. But nonetheless, an AoE Holy with Party Blink as an instant on not a healer or something like that is really good. His first command has ramp. The more times you use it, the more times it hits. And command 2 is an instant cast charger, so really good there. Ishtola's burst is very strong, but I'm not a fan of it, mainly because I don't like Stone Skin. I like getting punched to build breaks. It's plain and simple. That said, if you have a way to build breaks around that, it's really good because it's Curaga and Stone Skin, so it's going to heal everybody up and give them a nice shield, while also having an instant Curaja on command 1 and a Medica on command 2. Very good. It is a pure healing break, and it gets its job done. Force Symphony is Kuja's burst, and it is Black, Dark, and Imperil Dark. Random, so you might not hit everyone if it's an AoE. He's got It's single target AoE on command 1/2, bonus if you're doomed. So just a pretty bog standard DPS break. Through a process of elimination, this is the best banner so far. Yeah, it's mainly that Stone Skin stops you from building break. That's the biggest thing. That's why I like HP Shield better, is because it's Stone Skin, but you still build break. That's the big thing. That said, this banner is extremely strong. A lot of the USBs are really good, even ignoring the raise, which I don't like on Yuna's, the raise gimmick on it. That's still a haste last stand. Final Requiem is a really good OSB, and that's coming from a guy that doesn't like OSBs. You got an In Dark and a Haste Aga with resistance and heavy regen, even if you hit the Super Soul Breaks. Metamorphosis Claw, Metamorphosis, Hail of the Queen, Trial by Lightning, Weapon Master, Asylum are all ridiculously good BSBs. And Force Symphony is a pretty good caster BSB. This is a fantastic banner overall. Like, it's really stupid. It's really stupid how good this is. Anyway, that was banner 1. Just going by a quick timer here. That took me 10 minutes. Oh boy, we're going to be here for a bit. Up next is the Noctis banner. So, Noctis banner starts off with Tifa's USB Meteor Drive, which is a 10-hit Earth. It gives the party haste, radiant shield, and heavy regen. Yo, on a DPS, it's really fucking good. You can even start a fight with this. Mind you, you'd be limiting her damage if you did that. But even later in the fight, this is really nice. The haste will keep you going. That radiant shield will reflect damage back. That heavy regen gets work done. It's kind of disgusting, actually. Up next, we have Ico's USB, which is a returning one. Guardian Mog is Curaja, Haste, Last Stand with instant. Oh, hey, this is Yuna's, except without the race, and it's instant instead. Yeah, as stated, Haste, Last Stand, and a heal is really, really, really good. And as an instant cast, it's very good recovery, especially if you see that person pop their last stand, bam, instantly healed with a last stand back on them. Very, very nice. Sword of the Father for Noctis, which is, I'm going to try and pronounce this, Armiger. Hoofa. So, it's an okay hit with a self-stone skin, and he gains Armiger. Which is... Well, actually, no, it's a pretty decent hit. It just doesn't have element. So Armiger gives him cast speed times 3 and attack plus 30 while he's stone skinned. So the biggest thing about this is that it's the first EX mode, and you can see that they kind of really didn't understand. Like, actually, this is the first EX mode. This one was supposed to drop before Lightning's and everybody else's. And you can see that they really didn't have a true understanding of how they want to do EX modes. Because they tied this to the stone skin. As long as he has stone skin, he keeps Armiger. Now, that means if you can refresh the stone skin, he doesn't lose it. Yeah, I noticed by going down to the next OSB that it's actually a way better hit for an OSB than I realized. So the hit is actually good. It's just the mode can fall off very easily if he gets hit. Just takes an unlucky hit, he loses that that mode. And with piercing damage, that's very, very likely. Again, this is a thing that I haven't really seen in action a lot, so I can't give the definitive opinion on that. But again, if you can keep a stone skin on him with, like, say, a burst command that gives stone skin or a burst entry that gives stone skin, you can keep that Armiger going, and he does gain that, you know, attack 30%, which is tied to Armiger and I think stacks. So that works. That works pretty all right. Finishing touch is finishing touch. It is in a legacy OSB, and you can kind of see the difference in strength between that and Armiger. Mind you, finishing touch against something that is wind weak gets work done. Maybe on this knee. Sorry about that. But yeah, finishing touch is a bit of a relic, as far as I'm considered. That said, wind bosses aren't all that uncommon, so that does get work done. And even against something that is 20% weak, looking at you, Arc, this does about much damage as Noctis is, and against something that's 50% weak, it does more, and against something that's 200% weak, it is amazing. So, keep that in mind. At the end of the day, it's a 6-star sword, though. Oh, also, if you're in wind, it's gross. Yeah, just in wind yourself, and it's completely disgusting at that point. Blowback for the Onion Knight. The biggest thing about this is the 40% heal, though the damage is really nice as well. It does require you to use the Onion Knight as a caster, and the majority of the people I talk to use him as a DPS, not a caster. Now, next up is Indomitable Blade, which, it's okay. No, Indomitable Blade turns Celis into a monster of a Spellblade user. True, if you do have the Onion Knight's BSB, it's actually more common to use him as a caster because of Swift Spell. But those of us who don't have him as that generally use him as a support unit. On the next thing down here, we have on the BSB side of things, we have Meteo 16, which is Maria's Burst. It has a pretty standard Earth entry in Earth, sir. Command 2 is a bargain, and Command 1 is a multi-hit that is very easy to hit that cap. Yeah, that is a good note to make, is that Celis's Indom Blade was sort of replaced by her BSB 2, which was just released. Sorry, I'm having some stomach problems. I keep having to mute my mic. Dance of Carnage is a multi-hit fire non-elemental with an in-fire and self-crit plus 50%, which is a little gross. More than a little gross, actually. Command 2 on this has an attack defense bargain, and attack 1 has improved crit damage. Rafa's Burst is a little gross. And yeah, if you pull it, it definitely gets the work done. Vivi's Proof of Existence is a pretty standard thing. He enters it, does damage, AoE, and infires. On top of that, Command 1 is single target, 4 hit. Command 2 is 2 hit AoE without a bargain on it. Nothing really fantastic or special about Vivi's, but again, like most of these, it gets work done. Meteo Crusher is actually exactly the same, except reverse Command 1, Command 2. A good thing to note, though, is it is in Earth, which combos really well with Meteo Drive. Oh look! Vessel of Fate. Moving on. Like, do I need to say more about Vessel of Fate? Like, Vessel of Fate is gross. It pretty much solidifies Onion Knight as the support for your party. Or even the caster, because he can do damage with it as well. And then Preesh with Nullifying Dropkick, which is 8 hits, and gives her Self-Monk Short Charge for 5 turns. Command 2 is an attack defense bargain, and Command 1 does more damage mattering on the number of different monk moves that you use. It's very nice, and I'll be right back because that sneeze is making my nose run now. I need to blow my nose. Okay, so where Banner 1 was probably a bit more heal heavy, Banner 2 seems to be way more damage heavy. God, this is always the ranking. The ranking is always the hard part of this. So, this has Onion Burst on it. Flame Staff and Oversoul in a vacuum are not fantastic. They'll be an addition to your team. Like if this is the first banner you pull on, you'll definitely invest in those characters and they'll be an addition to your team. If you already have stuff, though, they could be mediocre. You probably have better stuff. In fact, when you compare Rayfa to Tifa, like on the same goddamn banner, Rayfa gets way more work done than Tifa. And then, similarly, compare Maria to Vivi. Maria gets extremely more work done. Her entrance does more damage. She has a bargain. She has a way higher multi-hit. It's kind of unsettling in that sense. That said, then you also have Vessel of Fate and Nullifying Dropkick, which are pretty alright. On top of that, you have Indom Blade, Blowback, which again, so if you're using Onion Knight, even if you don't need to build him as a caster, that is based on max HP, so even as a support unit, Blowback gets work done. Finishing Touch is a legacy OSB, but even against a Wind weak, it does good work. Meteor Drive is pretty alright, and as is Guardian Maul. Now, that said, I think compared to Banner 1, this, I'm going to take a quick look at Banner 1 real fast. You know what I'm going to do? This. There we go. I just have them all open now. Yeah, I think I have to rank this lower than Banner 1. Mainly because, like, Banner 1 has so much better healing on it. Like, just because of this. And this. Like, this is the same thing as Onion Burst, except it has... Or the Onion's Super Soul Break. Indom Blade gets a lot of work done, but... I don't know, like I just like the stuff on Banner 1 way more. And even the bursts I feel are better on Banner 1. Like, but then Banner 2 has Vessel of Fate. That's really these are really close, but I think I would have to rank 1 higher than 2 in this situation. Anywho, let's keep moving. Banner 3. Banner 3 has a lightning gimmick. So, at the top of the round, we have Frightening Lightning on Shantoto, which is a chain, multi-hit entrance, party chain, and party untyped short charge. Not to mention that in Realm it gets lightning, fire, and ice synergy. Continuing down the list, we have Lightning's USB, which very good when ranked, when chained with lightning attacks, because it gives her short charge to begin with, and then EX Flash, which gives her an increased attack, and then additional short charge if she uses lightning abilities. Saintly Excalibur is a kit, of course, Orlando's Thunder God, and right there, Thunder God is why I point at Noctis's thing and says, you did something wrong, because same damage, Holy Lightning, so hits 2 weaknesses, doesn't hit a weakness, gives him Stone Skin and Armiger, and this gives him Thunder God mode, which is untyped, shorter charge. Mind you, it has a much longer cast time, but once you cast it once, he doesn't have that long cast time anymore. So, like, there you go. That's why Armiger and Noctis's thing is weird. I wasn't right. Vindicate. I wasn't wrong. Like, yeah, vindication. But, yeah. Just point That's why. This is probably one of the best OSBs in the game, and will always stay that way. Ash, with Thunder's Echo, is a mage OSB, single lightning, no gimmick. It does lightning damage and is a mage OSB. Raijin's Aura is quick charge, 1 last stand, high regen for the party on not a healer, so that's always a plus in my book. And then the Chaos Blade for Orlando is Sword of Saints, which is multi-hit, AoE Holy Lightning with self non-type charge 2. Sorry, felt a sneeze coming on again. Was outside all day today, so I think my allergies are finally catching up to me. Let's see, self untyped. So like you can chain that into a lot of other stuff. You can chain that into his OSB. There you go. But yeah, that's pretty alright. A Kindler for lightning is Focus Bolts, which is random lightning and imperil lightning. Now this does use the single 4-hit AoE 2-hit, but they have short cast times because I think they're type celerity. Either way, that's pretty alright. Play Rough is a workhorse of a burst. It does Lightning, Fire, Ice, and Lightnings, and then Command 1 is Lightning, Fire, Command 2 is Lightning, Ice. Not only does this combo really well into her chain, but this hits 1,000 different weaknesses, really. Like, this will hit a weakness on almost every boss. Raijin's Cudgel is extremely gross, if used properly. It's a single lightning, non-elemental, 8 hits, and an in-lightning. Command 1 will heal an ally and builds up a hit and potency. It gives you a charge. And I think that Command 2 starts at 2 hits. If you get up to 8, it does, as it says right here, 200% potency 10 times. Now, let's do a bit of number wang here. For the cost of healing your party for 8 turns and also using the burst twice, so that's 1,200 damage there. Oh, mind you, the second use of this is going to do more damage, 80% more damage. So, you know, actually, I'm going to go as far as to say I'm getting out a calculator. So, 664 plus 664. Actually, let's do this differently. We need to number wang real hard here. 664 times 0.8 or 1.8. 1.8 for thing. Okay. Plus 664. Alright, so with just the cast of the 2 bursts, you're at 1,800 potency. And you have been healing your party the whole time. Add in, at the end of this, another 250, or yeah, 2050 potency. With the use of 2 bursts, you have dealt 3,909.2 potency. Yes, boys and girls, that's more than Orlando doing his OSB twice. And it's extremely more because that's not even fucking, let's number wang even further. That's not 2050 potency. That's 2050 potency times 1.5. So that's, hold up, I did plus times 1.5. So that's actually 3,070 potency. 75. Raijin with 8 turns and using his burst twice does more damage than Orlando using his OSB 3 times. Yeah, add Cloud's Ultra into this. Like, Raijin's burst is really kind of busted. Anyway, I've spent too much time on that one burst. Ash's Defiance, which is the next one. Dust's Decree is a standard mage entrance with Enlightening on it. But it has a single target, I think 4-hit single target, 2-hit AoE. But the single target heals Ash. So that gets worked out. I need to go blow my nose again. I'm sorry. Let's finish this banner, then I'll go blow my nose. Cypress Pole for Rafa is a random lightning and gives the party a mag res up. Command 2 is a bargain. Command 1 is a heal ally. So again, you're healing while doing damage. You're starting to see a pattern here on these. Swordplay for Orlando is a... what is that? Yeah, 1,000 potency with instant death and self-attack, defense up. Long cast time, of course. All of his commands also have a long cast time, but Command 1 is a holy attack with attack defense break, and Command 2 is a dark double drain strike. That's alright, it gets a lot of work done, and it hits holy and dark. So, you know, those are pretty okay, like, those come up enough. Alright, I need to think on this for a moment and get another tissue. Yeah, my sinuses are acting up something fierce. Alright, anyway. This banner. This banner's weird. I usually rank utility higher. 9 times out of 10. So, this banner is like damage almost all the way down, except for a few situations. That said, there's a few situations where it's not pure damage, such as Raijin, Dust's Decree, Heaven's Wrath, and, nope, actually, there we go, Aura, I had to find it. In those situations, it really shines, but I think the big point is this banner is pull on it if you need damage or lightning. In the vacuum of ranking the banners, it's hard. I think I actually have to put this one lower than banner 2, oddly enough. No, I actually can't. What's banner 2's big thing? There's a lot of damage on here, and frankly, banner 3 is better at damage than banner 2. Banner 2 is always sort of like trying to trick me with you know, Vessel of Fate is on it. It's like, hey, I got the support stuff here, but when you consider Raijin special, which is like, I keep your party alive while also ramping up for damage, and Cypress Pole, which is I keep your party alive while also doing damage, like. Yeah, they're good in different ways. I think I put this one above 2. So 1, 3, 2. Mind you, ranking is bullshit. I'll give you the special ranking at the end. So Yeah, because we've gotten to the point where just like every relic is good, you know. What's the worst relic on this banner? Sword of Saints, and it still does work. What's the worst one on this? I don't know. Meteor Crush, Proof of Existence, and they still do work. What's the worst one on this? Anti-Particle Beam, and it still does work. Like, it darks her. Like, Blowback, I would not say it's Blowback. Blowback is a percentile heal on somebody who still does a lot of fucking work. Wait, Sword of Saints is an instant cast? Hold up. Oh, has a Record Keeper or Orlando. Sword of Saints is instant cast. You feel like that would be the thing that you put on there? Yeah, okay. Sword of Saints is pretty alright. I would still say the weakest, like it, when Sword of Saints is the weakest thing on this banner, that's saying something. Like everything else just does more work than Sword of Saints. But Sword of Saints does fucking work. Anywho. Banner 3. So, first thing on Banner 3 is Terra's Omen, which gives her EX mode Magitech. And if you look right over here, the EX mode Magitech is magic plus 30% and short charge for 25 seconds. That stacks, I'm pretty sure, so it just lets her do way more damage for a period of time. Sacred Cross is Cecil's USB, which gives him in-holy stock 6,000 HP, and EX mode Paladin, which gives him defense plus 100% for 15 seconds. Christ. Hey, did you know it's a summer relic draw? Gilgamesh is All's Fair, which is 10 hits, high crit rate, high retaliate, and EX mode Legendary Swordsman, which is a plus 30% mode. High retaliate causes physical attacks to miss. If counterable, will counter attack, which deals more damage than a lower than a normal physical attack, because it's 120. So that's what high retaliate is. Ramses' USB is, of course, gross with attack mag, defense, stacking, and gives everybody quick cast or quick charge 1. Somebody in the chat points out that Paladin Cecil's Paladin mode is a unique 100% defense. It stacks with anything else. That's okay. And of course they put Chant on here instead of Shout, because if Shout was on this banner would be way too fucking good. Chant is party crit damage and stone skin 30. Deployment tactics is your Onion Knight BSB, but with Radiant Shield instead. Now, because those moves were way too good, let's scroll down to Paladin Force, which is an extreme legacy burst mode. A 5-hit intro, dealing very mediocre damage, because, you know, just going to point out this down here. Mind you, this is AoE, but yeah. And Command 1 is single AoE. Yeah, it is a single target in AoE. I think the AoE is 2 hits and the single target is 1 hit. And the single target has a self-heal. You do this for the Unholy. Now, speaking of good bursts, Arc Blast is a multi-hit mag defense down with a command that does magic and armor breakdowns. You know, Command 1 is magic, Command 2 is armor on those, so you can get some good stacking going on there. Metsu on Fujin is a mag resistance down 50%. It's instant cast, it does AoE. On top of that, her quick cast, 1-hit mental break, and 4-hit attack command are really, really gross. The Veil of Wii for Alphanod is a multi-hit summon damage and wins him. Command 2 is a self-ether, and Command 1 is a quick cast, wind, 4-hit. It's really good. Also, the very nice thing is that it's all typed summon, so you won't get counters from things that will counter. Zell's Burst Duelist is really, really gross. It's random 10 random stun procs, only 7% chance on each hit with a party crit buff. It's instant cast too. Command 1 is an attack defense bargain. Command 2 is a non-charge cycling. I think it's about 4 hits too. This gets work done. This super gets work done. It's really gross how much work this gets done. And then Realm bringing up the rear with a damaging Party Cura and Last Stand on her burst. And then instant cast Curaja and Medica on Command 2. So, all of these are fantastic. All of these are great. This one and this one are maybe less good, but this and this are real gross. Chant is okay. If you got nothing better to use on, pretty much if you don't have any other of Ramza's supers or higher stuff, this is probably what you're using. But that said, it's still really good, what with the crit up and stone skin on a non-healer. And deployment tactics is gross. Deployment tactics is real fucking gross. Yeah, if you have Chant your Roaming Warrior Cloud's USB. I gave my 2 cents on Paladin Force. It's really bad. It's super legacy at this point. Arc Blast, Metsu, Aerial Blast, Duelist, and Star Prism, however, are all really fucking good. They're all really good. So overall, I'm going to go take a look at Banner 1 real quick. I think I'm going to rank this one right below Banner 1. Again, Banner 3 is pure damage, but it's really good at that. The utility on Banner 4 is off the wall. Every one of these does something for the party. Except for, of course, Paladin Force. It really doesn't, but all the other ones really do. A Banner 1, I think, just edges it out because of Benediction and Clear as Tranquil. Really helps. Song of Spear does help in the long run. And, like, Metamorphosis is still the most broken Mage Burst. Hail the Queen gets a lot of work done because things rarely resist poison. Trial by Lightning is that is, you know, the deployment tactics. Weapon Master is instant party blink. Asylum is gross. And Force Symphony is your one that would rank lower, and it's still actually Imperil Darks. Yeah, I think this one is ranked just below 1. Like, it is just there. I think if Paladin Force was anything else, I would rank it higher. That's the deciding factor there. Because Force Symphony does more than Paladin Force. Alright, last one. Let me just check the numbers right here. 47 minutes in. We're almost through this whole playlist. Okay, welcome to the Holy Banner. Up first, we have the Holy Chain, which, let me tell you something about holy moves. They're really common. So, aside from that, it also gives the party stock 2k HP, which, holy shit, that's really, really good. I think my voice is starting to go overall. Yeah, this is probably one of my favorite chains so far, but that's saying something. There's like, what, 4? Recuperation is a party status, blink, protect, shell, and stock HP. Holy crap, start the fight with this, continue the fight with this, just use this whenever fucking ever. Jesus Christ. It's a good ass move. Arbiter's Apocrypha. A very weak hit, but gives the party full stat up 15%. Yeah, that's alright. That stacks with almost everything. The problem is, if you're bringing Tyro, you're generally not bringing for his OSB. That said, if all you have is the OSB, that gives Tyro a place to put in your party. Agrius comes with Holy Blade, which is her OSB that does not fantastic. Well, actually, it does pretty alright damage. All things considered. But it only does alright damage if you're hitting weakness. And, yeah, outside of that, it's weaker than most other OSBs. That said, still pretty alright. Corellia's Swift Blade. Holy crap, if you want to talk about party 40% Medicas, with Insuna on top of it, with damage, this thing is gross. This thing is really fucking gross. And then, here's Sentinel Grimoire. Like, what do you want me to say? It's Sentinel Grimoire. Although it's Sentinel's Grimoire. Sentinels. Not Sentinel Grimoire. Sentinel's Grimoire. But yeah, it's Sentinel's Grimoire. What else should I say about Sentinel's Grimoire? Rating Sentinel's Grimoire. Going down further to go with the Iron Musketeer Kurtas, you have the Temple Knight Army Sword. Intervene is a party. It is Hand of the Emperor, attack defense up with a Holy Entrance. On top of that, Command 1 is a 4-hit. It's a 4-hit Saint's Cross. And Command 2 has Sentinel. Both commands are wholly non-elemental. Aerith, White Materia, damage entrance with a Kuraga on the party. Command 2 is a Medica, Command 1 is a Kuraja. Agrius's Divine Ruination is a 4-hit Holy Entrance and Imperil Holy with Sentinel and Self-Resistance buff on the commands. I think both are 2-hit commands, by the way. The Echo from Infilia is a damage entrance with Holy and power magic breakdowns on the commands. Transcendent Dream for Vanille is instant Curaga with Self-Mind buff. Attack 1 has a mental breakdown with 2 hits, and Command 2 is a Medica. Zack's Sword is Meteor Shots, which is Wind and Earth Entrance and Imperial Wind. One of these things doesn't belong here. But the commands then are Quick Cast, Command 2 is AoE, and Command 1 is 4-hit. Not Quick Cast, Fast Cast Speed, Celerity Speed. White Materia, Meteor Shot's probably the weak ones on this banner. Mainly because all White Materia does is a Curaga with damage, and that damage is never really that great when you need it. But the commands are pretty alright. The commands are super alright. So even if you get this, this is still an alright burst, and Zack just doesn't belong on this banner. That said, if you're fighting a wind enemy, or just really anything, Zack's burst does work because it imperils. This isn't celerity. This is faster than celerity on Zack's commands. Well, that's news to me. But anyway. Where do I rank this one? I think I rank this one below 3. But very close to 3. Actually, let me think about that for a moment. Nope, this one's higher than 3. The reason for that is that 3 and this one do the same job. They're very much typed around an element. Just this one has more utility on it than 3, and I always rank utility higher. But, as being discussed in the chat, these banners actually have a different ranking system. They're all very good, very close together. So let's rank these a different way. It's not should you pull on this one over this one no matter what. It is, of course, do you want healing on Banner 1? Banner 1 has a obscene amount of healing, and anything that isn't healing is very nice party buffs or really good damage. So, if you need healing, pull on Banner 1. Banner 2 is the multi-purpose banner. This is if you really don't need anything that fills in any other categories. You got damage here, you got a little bit of healing, but not a lot of utility. I think no matter what, I kind of rank 2 the lowest and least priority. That said, it does have Vessel Fate on it. So if you want to try and go for Vessel Fate, you can go for Vessel Fate. I really do like Blowback, though some people in the chat disagree with me. But a party heal 40% on a character that is really good is fantastic. Both of these up here are very, very nice. I like the Radiant Shield and the High Regen and the Party Haste and the Guardian Mog. But this is just the big utility banner, which is weird. Let me back that up for a second. This is the big utility banner on the high stuff and 1 burst. Everything else, and I guess the supers too. So pull on this if you think you want one of these or multiple of these. Really, it should be, do you want 3 of these items? Go for it. Banner 3 is damage with a lightning typing to it. It does have, again, one of the grossest bursts in the game for physical right here. Raijin's Cudgel is completely broken as shit. Two is the wild card. That's the best way of putting it. Yep. Banner 4 is utility. Utility out the ass. What with retaliation, super retaliation on the Genji gloves. The big party boost on truth of the story. What a name there. That really gross taunt potential of Sacred Cross. That big damage of Omen. Chant boosting the rest of your party and giving them a shield. Deployment tactics boosting your party and giving them Radiant Shield. Arc Blast debuffing. Metsu debuffing. Aerial Blast just giving you some really good damage potential, as is Duelist, and that nice last stand from Star Prism. This is the super utility banner. Pull on this if you want some cool toys, pretty much. That's a good point, that this banner has 2 different Genji gloves. I didn't even notice that. And then banner 5 is, of course, your holy banner. There's so much holy on this banner, and on top of everything else, it's got one of the some of the grossest medicas on this in Vanille's right here. And Recuperate is also really good. So really, these banners are what do you need, not what are you ranking. So one more time. The heal banner, the wild card, lightning, utility, and holy. That is my final ranking on these banners. They're all equally good for the most part. It's really hard to say one is worse than the other, or this one's better, or that one's better. We don't need to tie numbers to these. It's what do you need? That's what you pull on. You have to take stock of your stuff and pull on one of them. Unless you're me. Because if you're me, you're pulling on every banner. It's time for the moment that you've all been waiting for, at least I have. Ooh, let's do this. Let's see if I hate myself first. Okay, it was a 3-star. Uh-oh. What's up, motherfucker? What's up, motherfucker? Me going to the abyss. I am the most tranquil. I am without sin. I am the most tranquil of all. Jesus Christ, here it is. Holy shit. What a pool. Alright, now this is when I reveal the secret. So let's just go down this list real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was a big risk for me, actually. But you always pull. I always pull at least. I always pull in every banner. That's why I save all this mithril for. Why save that mithril if I'm not going to use it? What the? Oh, Jesus Christ. There it is. Soldier mode. Oh, time for an outro. Anywho, that's it for the first half of Mired in Crisis and our banner analysis. If you want to actually catch the banner analysis, I probably won't put it in the chopped up version if that's what you're watching. Go check out the full video or the VOD on Twitch. Next time, we got Final Fantasy VI bonus fights, and we got the other half of Mired in Crisis. So, I'll see you then.